offshore wind, solar. Dominion Energy is a leader in the clean energy transition. We're dedicated to providing reliable, affordable, safe, and clean energy as we support and invest in our communities. Dominion Energy is building a clean energy future. Actions speak louder. Welcome to Actions Speak Louder, highlighting Dominion Energy's clean energy projects and community support. I'm Peggy Fox, Dominion Energy Media and Community Relations Manager. So today we are talking about Capital Youth Empowerment Program, a nonprofit that is strengthening underserved communities. They teach skills and equip people with the tools and empowerment needed to strengthen lives and change communities.
CYEP promotes equity for underserved people through social skill development and economic empowerment. The service area includes Arlington County, Fairfax County, City of Alexandria, and Washington, D.C.
The need is there, not only with fathers, but with our youth programming to help the youth not become fathers too early, but also to teach them about domestic violence and what healthy relationships look like. Our STEM programming is doing wonderful things, exposing young children to careers outside of what they see on an everyday basis.
We're trying to get science and math students to consider STEM fields, exposure, trying to streamline minority students into the STEM fields.
We provide a variety of services starting with young people, teenagers in our Project Success program, as well as our Level Up, which is designed to help young adults, and Fathers in Tech, which is my baby, the program that I'm most involved with, where we're working with fathers to help them with parenting skills and workforce development.
The pillars are teach, equip, and unite. And the first one, teach, is about educating, having a mindset, a growth mindset that you can learn at any stage in life. Equip is about giving people the tools, technical skills, exposing people to opportunities and getting them the technical expertise to be a part of this current economic ecosystem. Unite is about connecting the corporate world, the unions, higher education, to allow people to have the access to thrive.
What sets us apart is the relationship that we start is a long-lasting relationship. It doesn't stop once the program is over.
I feel that my facilitators are the best in the United States. Everybody knows how to play their role. They all can hold it down at any given time. They can co-facilitate. I'll put them up against anybody, and I know we'll come out first.
We have realized in public education that we cannot do this by ourselves, that we have to have an all-hands-on-deck approach, and organizations like CYEP can come in and can provide those additional community partnerships and supports.
We need to do all we can to support our communities across the board. Strong families make for strong communities, and strong communities are good for all of us, including the business community.
I like the vision of CYEP. I like the direction that it's headed, and make no mistake, I'll take any pre-apprenticeship program that's got purpose. It's got a clear mission. We're honored. I'm honored personally, and the company's honored to partner with organizations that are looking to pull people and give people a chance that they otherwise wouldn't have on their own.
In terms of our mission, the addressing of income inequality is what a lot of it boils down to. However, a lot of these kids may not have thought about how some of the decisions in other areas of their life can impact that. Teaching things like healthy relationships, exposing them to programs like STEM, different career lanes that they could potentially pursue, teen pregnancy prevention, STD prevention. It's really all about making life choices that are going to make their life easier. One of the things I've been saying to the kids for years is everything that we're going to be talking about boils down to making life easier for you.
We're not just up there with a curriculum spoon-feeding information. We're really having the conversation.
My guest is Tommy Amal, CYEP Director of Development and Corporate Relations. Tommy, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So your website has a lot of great background, great background story on how CYEP was founded. Eric and Isaac King saw the need based on what they experienced with the fatherless home. Could you tell me a little bit about that beginning and what they saw that they could do?
Yeah, so our CEO, Eric King, worked in juvenile services, juvenile justice in the courthouse. So he was able to see a lot of young folks going through the system. And I think what he realized was you had more flexibility if he was able to start a nonprofit that can attack some of the key kind of barriers there. And one of those barriers was just the fatherless home. And that whole fatherless home kind of thing was central to him. I mean, him and his twin brother Isaac, our co-founders, they went through that. But they were able to chart a path with strong family and resources to be successful. And they decided to reach back into our community and help dads just be better dads and be engaged.
And they set out to do that in 2008 to change people's lives for the better. And then the next year, in 2009, they started offering programs, and it's never stopped.
Yeah.
And these programs are just fantastic. Tell us about Fathers in Touch.
So Fathers in Touch was then Fathers in Touch, is now Fathers in Tech. It was really just about helping fathers be better dads, but be engaged, right? So I'm not going to stereotype, but as men, lots of us don't talk about emotions, right?
Is that
right? Lots of us, you know, some of us may have issues, you know, communicating clearly or communicating about certain issues either with our co-partner or with our kids, right? So a part of Fathers in Tech was just giving dads a curriculum called a 24/7 Dad curriculum on this is what it's like to be a 24/7 dad. You don't get to take any plays off. You don't get any minutes off. This is the type of engagement it takes to be a really good dad. That's what they started with.
I love that. And I know in 2010, Alexandria Health Department approached CYEP to provide teen pregnancy programs and classes to help educate teenage males on the negative impact that having children at an early age can have. And to me, that's something that probably some communities already know. But what a lesson to teach those kind of things.
Yeah. Thinking about prevention, and then thinking about being on the offense. So not so much focused on some of those risky behaviors, but thinking about what can I be doing right now to build a future for myself and my future family. But the prevention piece is so important. And you know, there's been plenty of you know, teenage parents who've been able to be successful, but I mean, we can all agree that it just creates more barriers. That's one that they were trying to do away with.
That's awesome. So I know you have programs that have helped many people in Alexandria, but you're also down in Stafford. I mean, all over Northern Virginia, doing all kinds of programs.
Yeah, so we're in D.C., we're in Alexandria, Arlington, Fairfax, but Stafford, Stanton, because what happens is when you think about this new Zoom kind of world.
New opportunities.
Right? Yeah, so we've been able to take and work with fathers all over the Commonwealth and be able to, for 2 hours a week, get a group of 15 to 20, sometimes 25 fathers together to just talk about fatherhood and to learn about the linkages, right? To learn about, your challenge or your demographic might be different than mine, but we all have the same kind of problems at home.
Well, it's really, when you think about if you have grown up in a fatherless home, where's your example, right?
Exactly.
So, and these are points everyone can learn from other people too.
Absolutely, and one of the things you hear from any parent is there's no book on parenthood.
No book,
right? You kind of get thrown into it.
Yeah.
And just think about it from a perspective. If you didn't even have that example, then what do you do? So a lot of fathers in our program are just trying to learn. We've even had grandfathers, right, who have an interesting dynamic because think about the cultural barrier between someone who's a grandparent and our new generation and some of the communication barriers, right? So they're like, look, I just want to have a relationship with my grandchild, right? But we're able to kind of forge those relationships and teach them the key components of what good fatherhood looks like.
I know CYEP has been around for a while, but Dominion Energy has recently given a nice grant.
Yes.
So that's how come you're here. And I'm so glad to have this connection now. CYEP has been recognized, with numerous awards, including the NAACP Community Service Award, the White House Champion of Change Award because of its good work. And so you do all that great work changing lives without, it takes money. It doesn't, it doesn't just happen, right?
Yes,
it has
and I'm
to
a
have,
fundraiser,
you have
so.
to have support. You're the director of development. And so we know this. It takes a lot of effort and people to recognize that you're doing good work. So you've got a proven record, and you've pulled in some big federal grants and others, including, as I just mentioned, a large grant from the Dominion Energy Charitable Foundation. Take a look.
The Capital Youth Empowerment Program received a grant through the Dominion Energy Charitable Foundation's $5 million Social Justice Grants Initiative. The $158,000 grant supports CYEP's Fathers in Tech program in its continuing efforts to support dads. Built on 3 pillars, with support from Dominion Energy Virginia President Ed Bain and the Dominion Energy Charitable Foundation, CYEP is continuing its mission to promote equity for the underserved through social skill development and economic empowerment. When corporations invest in community, it can make a world of difference.
So we really want to thank you all for approaching us, and I'm thrilled that we're supporting Fathers in Tech. Talk a little bit about that program. What's it doing?
Yeah, and first, thank Dominion so much for this support in us and our communities. But the program, it's really remarkable. So to go from the Fathers in Touch model, which was about social skills, to Fathers in Tech, which is the social skills, but then there's a workforce development component, is so crucial. Because when you think about Northern Virginia, I mean, we're positioned to be, we're not going to be Silicon Valley, but we have a lot of tech companies in this area, and there's so many opportunities for folks to go into that realm. And what we want to do is help fathers who want to make a livable wage get the credentials, get the experience, get the education to go and be a part of that ecosystem.
Yeah, some people do call this area the Silicon Valley of the East.
I like
I'll
it.
have you know.
I like it. We need to trademark that
thing. It is Data Center Alley as well. But I remember several years ago when I was a news reporter doing stories about how there were all these unfilled jobs, unfilled tech jobs, and I'm sure there still are. So what a great idea. Let's train people who need jobs to fill those jobs.
Yes, and that's still true. I mean, we have a workforce issue, and we have many people that need the access. They need to feel more connected and just know what is the pathway to get into one of those careers. So that's what our program does. We
teaches them the pathway, but also gives them the skills. Or
So teaching to be a better dad, a better man.
Right.
You know, the personal piece, but also gives them a career coach that helps them with the professional development, with the resume, with how do you even function in a professional environment, some of those things, right? But then you get the actual on-the-job training, right, through our pre-apprenticeship programs. So now you can go be a part of an apprenticeship program, you can go be in construction, IT, whatever that looks like, but we're going to chart that path for you.
Right.
And we've already developed relationship with industry to where there's no secrets there, there's no issue.
You talk about the apprentice programs. Is that what you mean? You've got apprentice programs with different industries and different companies.
Yep, so as a part of Fathers in Tech, we offer a few different pathways. So one is the IT, and IT is broad, right? There's so many different pathways that you can go within IT, but even in construction, right? Everywhere you go here, you know, there's buildings going up, right? There's so much industry coming to our area, and we want the fathers in our program, we want these families to be a part of that growth because it's only going in one direction. So that's what we're doing.
Dominion Energy has jobs too,
and
lots of jobs. So we might just to throw it out there, have them check it out.
Yes.
Yeah, your program teaches philosophy of learning is built on 3 pillars. I love this. I love the 3 pillars because everybody can use them.
Yes.
And teach, equip, unite. Why are those so important? Teach, equip, unite. Talk about those if you would.
I mean, when you think about the barriers that exist those tenets are so important. With the teaching, you just have to have the basic knowledge to be able to go into a career, right? The basic knowledge about yourself, about whatever that career path may be. And that can be through a program, that can be through formal education, or that can be through workshops like our Fathers in Tech. The workshops that we do on financial awareness, right? That's education, that's information that can change lives. As far as the equip, I mean, we have, the actual skills training partnerships where if you want to go into construction, you can be taught, equipped with the skills to go do that, right? And then the Unite is just what we're doing here.
Yeah, connections.
Right? Connections, that's what it's about. So average person may not have connections to certain companies or certain industries, and our nonprofit wants to be one that does both, that brings those worlds together to benefit both.
That's good. Well, one of the taglines you have, I love this too, is leveling the playing field for the underserved.
Yes.
And I really like that. I can see how, given the political climate, that some people might push back on that. How do you deal with that? Do you ignore it or do you confront it?
I don't think it's confronting. I think we address it, right? With data, with numbers, right? So if you just look at demographics in Northern Virginia, if you look at the $75,000 threshold per family, if you look at white families, Latino families, and black families, there's a huge inequality, a huge discrepancy amongst the numbers that make under 75K and above 75K. That's just numbers, right? So when you look at black and Latino families, your family isn't bringing home that much money in this area, they might be struggling, right? So how do we figure out what the barriers are and strategically find solutions to those barriers for those communities? And that's what we do.
Fantastic. And how do you reach the people?
Oh man, so
lots of ways, huh?
Yes, so they've been in these communities for so long, from DC all the way to Fairfax. We have an amazing staff. His name is Everett Mitchell. He's from Alexandria, grew up in Alexandria. Whole family is there, went to school there. So he's been a huge connector with the community centers, with the high schools, with the local civic organizations. I mean, it takes a lot of time and attention to be able to connect with folks, but also motivate folks to come together.
I know one of your first big supporters in the beginning when the organization started was Bill Ewell, mayor of Alexandria back then.
Yes, yes, and we've continued to be supported by Alexandria because they see the support that we're having, the impact that we're having in the area.
Are fathers your number one focus, but also youth, because it's a capital youth empowerment program. So how do the youth play into Fathers in Tech? That's a separate program, separate focus, right?
Yeah, so what happens is I like to look at it as we attack the full life cycle of the underserved. So you have fathers that we work with, we have youth that we work with, and we work with the full family. So as far as youth, we work around introducing them to STEM pathways and STEM careers from an early age. We're talking sometimes as low as elementary school, high school, and really helping them to see like what is out there, right? That if you want to go into IT, you want to go into cybersecurity, let's introduce you to some professionals and let's get you some practice. Why don't you get in there and code? But we've done hackathons, right? Where youth are able to be like, you know what?
I can do
Maybe
this.
I can do that. Wait, how do I get there again? How do I get to where you are? So we provide those experiences and then connections to industries to where they can figure out if it's going to college, if it's going to the military, or whatever that is, they can chart an informed path to get there. So that's what we do. That's what we do.
Are you in schools? How do the youth find you? Through community organizations, schools?
Well, this is the hard work. So through connections with the local schools, executives and at the school level there, the community centers, through partnerships with other nonprofits. So it's really a full ecosystem-wide approach to be able to really dig into communities.
And then do they sign up for a program? Is that how it works? Or are there
Depends on the
mentors,
program. So
mentors?
for the youth, we go through the school system and we work with schools, but we absolutely love when students sign up or their parents sign them up for programs. So all of that information we have, like on our website, and our Fathers in Tech program. Anyone that's in a father-like situation or in a father-like role, we'd love for them to sign up.
And that's really where the organization was founded, with the focus on fathers and helping fathers be better fathers.
Yes, fathers and youth.
Yeah. And youth, fathers and youth. Talk about some of the. I mean, I've seen some great pictures on your website with people holding up certificates and things like that. Talk a little bit about some of the success stories, if you will, about somebody who came through the program and some of the things these people are doing.
Yeah. So one of the interesting parts about my job is that I'm also a career coach. So when I'm going and talking about and just spreading the word about CYEP, it's because I'm also actually working with actual fathers. We've had fathers who did not have consistent visitation or time with their children, who were through this process able to get custody of their kids. Wow. I mean, huge victories. We've had guys who were in the criminal justice system who were able to rehabilitate their life and get a job, and not just a job, start a career, and really, be able to take care of the family.
Isn't that what we want? We want people to be rehabilitated.
Yes, because we talk about the American dream,
yes,
right? And everybody should be afforded that. And I think that's one of the things that our nonprofit does, is folks that are marginalized or that have had some struggles, we can help them get on a track to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So fathers coming out of maybe the system, criminal justice system, or fathers who just need the extra help, need some different,
And that's a subset of our fathers. I actually had an interesting engagement a couple of days ago. One of the fathers that I recently coached is an executive at a tech firm.
Are you kidding?
And he's having a lot of the same struggles as other folks. But one of the things that he really values about the group is the diversity within the group, right? And as fathers, he's like, look, we're all going through the same thing.
We're all going through the same,
right? And can I hire some of your guys? I'm like, absolutely.
Wow, this is someone you mentored. In the program. How many years ago?
This was just, he finished the program 60 days ago.
Wow, and now he's an executive in the program.
No, he's
not in your program, of his own company.
At a tech company.
A different company.
Because our program is for fathers.
Right.
So you have some dads who are doing very, very well, who just want to be a better dad and are learning through the discussions, and who are benefiting from the career coaching piece. Where in the career coaching, look, he doesn't need any career advice. What he wants is
how to be a better dad.
Person to talk about, like, look, I'm having this issue with my daughter.
So somebody out there watching might be like, hey, how do I get my dad to sign up for that? I mean, can people call up and say, do people just call and
all the time, all the time. He found out about it. He saw it. I want to say on like Facebook or something. He saw it and thought that, hey, I want to be a better dad. I'm working a lot, and haven't maybe spent the time with my daughter. And before it gets too late, I want to figure out how to, make better with that relationship. So he signed up.
I'm thinking of that song, "And the Cat's in the Cradle." That one, you got to spend time.
Yes.
It is about time, isn't it?
Yes.
If you were to tell one person, like, what are some of the big, what is some of the advice you give to dads?
Certainly time. Being able to actively listen. So not listening to respond or listening to give your advice, but just listen. Because a lot of times in what someone is communicating to you, the answer's there of how they want you to support them. And we see dads make this transformational go through this transformational kind of experience in 12 weeks. Some of them come in and don't want to talk much in weeks 1 and 2. And by week 6, we can't get them to cool it down. But it's so beautiful to see the kind of progress that they're making with their families and their career and personally.
Absolutely. So number one advice is to listen.
Yes, listen.
I think everyone
listen.
could use that advice.
Yes,
you know? Stop
yes.
talking and listen.
Yes.
I need that. I need to remember that. Thank you for that advice. Listen more. Tommy, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the work the Capital Youth Empowerment Capital Youth Empowerment Program is doing in the lives of underserved in the whole greater DC area.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that Dominion Energy is helping.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Well, appreciate you coming on and let us know what else we might be able to do down the road.
All right.
All right. We want to thank the Capital Youth Empowerment Program for the important work it's doing strengthening communities and changing lives. You can learn more on their website, CYEP.org. Thanks for watching Actions Speak Louder. We hope you join us next time to learn more about how Dominion Energy is working toward a sustainable future while supporting our customers and communities. And you can find links to all of our programs on YouTube by searching Peggy Fox Actions Speak Louder playlist, or follow me on LinkedIn or Facebook. And thanks to the staff here at Fairfax Public Access, where this is being recorded. Take care and be safe.